Evening, everybody. It's almost 6:30 on Wednesday, and this is your closing comment, video number 1513. Excuse me. The chart on the screen is probably the most important one yet again. I kept on telling on the way up, and now I'm going to tell you on the way down. The dollar got weak, and it really helps stocks. Um, Bonds were higher again today, so that might have taken a little bit of the edge off it. Gold was up, but uh, we were looking at this 110 area as an area of some support. We went right through it, closed pretty much on the low of the day at 109.55. Next major support, I would think, would be around 108. And beyond that, maybe 107 and a half. If it breaks that, if it so far we've got and I pointed this out this morning, we've got the 5 day going through the 20 day to the downside, and now they are both headed to this orange line, which is the 50 day, and the red line is the 100 day. We're a long way off from the 200 day, but regardless, this came down and it really had an effect on most of the futures markets. Not much of an effect on the grains, which were up or down really small amounts today. The oil was up about $2.50. It's up another 21 cents tonight. Heating oil up another 3 cents. Gasoline up another 3 cents. Net gas was actually down a nickel and now has gained that back in this evening session. Gold is basically unchanged. The silver up 3 cents, which is basically unchanged. The one that I pointed out on Sunday and again yesterday and again today, the copper. I think we have a series of higher lows. We have a downtrend line that we have now broken and closed above. The next thing that it has to deal with is the 50 day MA, but in point of fact, the 5 has gone through the 20 and is about to go through that 50 day. The 100 day is right here at about 358. These are all very close. My concern is a close above, on a weekly basis, a close above 361.05. And that's about 8 cents from where we are right now. Let's just see. The market that really took off was the palladium, up 41.70. The softs uneventful except for the coffee, which was down another $6. I'm seriously looking at the ETF JO. We still have a half position. I think we paid 36 for it, and I think it closed today about 50. So we sold some around $60. So I'm not terribly concerned about where I add it back or that it owes me anything, but looking at the weekly, we are right at the 50% fib retracement level. And if we go a little further back, you can see that this was the last consolidation before the breakout and run to the highs. Okay, enough of that. The market, the Dow was up $2.37. I even can't believe it, frankly. There were 22 up, 7 down, and Verizon unchanged. But Microsoft took 127 off the Dow. Boeing, which was up early, reversed and took 85 off the Dow. And CRM, Salesforce, took about 35 off, and Apple about 20. There weren't any really big gainers in that entire list. So, it was just an accumulation of 10 here, 9 there, but, just using just using the Microsoft and Boeing, you're talking about 210 points, and the Dow made all of that up and closed up 237, as I said. Not so much for the Nasdaq, down 2.04%, down 228. S&P down 28 and a half. The Russell was up $8, so that was, you know, um, a decent move after yesterday's gigantic move. And the transports were up 180.37, 1.36%. The VIX was a little bit lower, but still hanging 27.28, down $1.18. So unbelievable. Okay, so Boeing had a range today um, of 150 after the earnings came out, down to 132.20, and the last 133.15 was down 13 and a half or 9.2%. Ford had a miss, was kind of uneventful, down 11 cents. Harley Davidson was a beat, up 427 at 41.39, so a decent move there. And Enphase, ENPH, also with a beat, 80% growth in revenues, 291.87, up $28. That's 9.9%. Pretty impressive. I'm sure everybody now knows about Meta. One of the services that I have sends me a Bloomberg update right before 6 o'clock. And right before 6 o'clock, it was still showing um, Meta down just 14. The After the news first hit, the stock had closed 129.78, down 765. When the print came, they immediately popped it up to 143. I mean, it's an unbelievable looking chart. And then they got into the meat of it. Um, and the stock traded down to 103 and change. 143 to 103. I mean, just unbelievable. Um, One of the things that was most important in that sell off was their margins. Their margins have been in the 30 to 36% range. This reporting period, 21%. The last I have on the stock is 104.65. That's down 32.66. I mean, that's pretty amazing. 24%. So that's kind of a big number. Also, I just want to mention, because I've mentioned it before, Weber, WEBR. This is a company that the group that is the lead shareholder in it um, took private and then reissued it last August as an IPO. It traded up to about 21, and on Monday they made a bid of $6.25 cash for the rest of the stock that they don't already own. I told you on Monday morning it was trading at 626 to 629. It actually closed 641 that day. Trading through it, thinking that there would either be another suitor or a higher price. Closed 671 today, up 15. The reason I mention it is because there's another one just like it. It's Traeger. Traeger is the name of the grills that you see. Um, that's what their label looks like. The actual name of the company, I believe, is TRCX something. Excuse me. And it did pretty much the same thing. It was reissued as a new issue last August and traded up to about 24. Excuse me. Today closed 383, down 9 cents. The reason I bring it up is because these are consumer goods companies. They're really pretty decent. I mean, as far as the product that they put out. Traeger is a very high end grill, as are some of the Webers. In any event, if this is happening with Weber, it may also be happening. The symbol on the stock is COOK, and again, it is TGPX Holdings. Um, but like I said, in point of fact, it's Traeger is the product. The high was 32.59. Down here at $3 and change, almost $4. It may be a candidate for the same kind of move. All right, everyone, that's about it. Um, oh, just one more. CMG, which traded as high as 1,666 last night and had closed well off that. Let's just see. The closed regular hours last night was 1584. As I said, in the aftermarket, it traded as high as 1666 and then came back in a bit. Today, it couldn't hold any of that gain. In fact, it gapped to the downside and opened at 1526. So 1526, that was down about 48, and it continued lower and closed here 1476.03, down 107.99 or 6.8%. So, my friend and fellow trader Dennis always says to me that, in bear markets, all of the worst things happen. And clearly that's what's going on here. I don't see a lot of action in the futures tonight like we saw last night with Microsoft. Microsoft had the S&Ps down 30 and had the Nasdaq down 150. Well, Nasdaq is barely changed. It's up 7.5. The S&P is up 10, and the Dow is up 119. And I want to say that Meta is in something like 230 ETFs. So all those people who look at this and they say, "Oh, geez, I'm glad I don't own that one." You probably do.